Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you were truly alone with yourself? No scrolling, no watching something in the background, not switching from apps to apps every few seconds, just sitting in a room alone with your own thoughts, being alone with yourself. And if you can't remember, then something is happening to your brain that you don't even recognize. And this is not your fault, but this is now your responsibility. Because your brain was not designed for the fast-paced lifestyle you have right now. It was designed for a slow life. And what you're asking from your brain is to survive in a hurricane. And it's nearly impossible. And today I want to show you what this storm is doing to your mind and how it broke mine. And what you actually can do to reset it before it gets worse. But first, we need to know why your brain feels so tired. And what is constant stimulation really doing to your brain? And how to get your mind back. The invincible problem. It usually starts on a normal day. You're sitting at your desk, a message pops up, you tapping it, start reading it, halfway through, your mind drifts. You scroll up, read it again, still, nothing lands in your mind. Later, you tell yourself that you start on one thing you've been avoiding, the project you wanted to start, the workout you wanted to do, or even to cook something, instead of ordering again. You stand up, and your hand reaches to your phone. Before you even finish the thought, you sit down just for 5 minutes. A short video, then another, and then another. Your food arrives, and you scroll while you're eating your food, and an hour is gone, and your body feels tired, and you didn't even move. And your mind feels busy, but you didn't even start anything, and you feel overwhelmed, but you can't even say by what. You call it stress or laziness, or maybe you call it, I am not disciplined enough. But under all of that excuses, your mind is whispering, I can't handle this constant stimulation anymore. And if you ignore that whispers for too long, it stops being a whisper. It becomes your normal. And the question is, how did we even get there? How we became reactors, not thinkers. There was a time when the internet felt like a place you visited. You sat at a computer, opened the browser, and made a conscious decision to go online. Now you don't visit it anymore, it visits you. You wake up and the first light you see isn't the sunlight, it's your phone screen. Notifications, badges, red dots everywhere. Dozens of apps competing for your attention before you even drink water. And you don't search for content anymore, the content searches you and it finds you. And the algorithm learns the exact length of video that keeps you watching, the exact type of face, the exact type of sound, and even the exact topic, and they decide what you're gonna click or not. And sometimes it decides better than you ever could. Like I said in the beginning, your brain was designed for a slow life. For example, you focus on something, you rest for a bit, you think about it, and repeat it. And even your ancestors way back there, they hunted, they eat, they talked, and they slept. That's everything they did. And now it's more like scroll, and then a crash. Every 3 seconds, something new. Every swipe is like a new hit. Every notification, every mini interruption. Your brain never finishes thinking, and your mind never gets quiet. And you stop being a thinker, you become a reactor, and stop living your life. So the life lives you. And you're just responding to whatever your screen throws at you. So what is really being hijacked here? And what part of your brain is really screaming for help? And that's where dopamine enters the story. Dopamine, the silent hijack. Picture this. You're on the couch, it's late, you tell yourself, just one more video, then I go to sleep. You scroll, you laugh, you smirk, you see something shocking, something emotional, something funny or something even stupid. And your face barely reacts. But inside your brain, something very real is happening. Dopamine. And people call it the pleasure chemical. But it's not really what it is. It's not all about pleasure, it's about wanting something. Because dopamine is released when your brain expects a reward. Like eating, achieving a goal, finishing a task. And for most humans of the history, this was the only thing that released dopamine. They required effort, patience, and interaction with real life. And now, your brain gets dopamine from 7-second clips. Bright colors, fast cuts, notifications, and there is a dangerous part. Your brain doesn't know between real rewards and fake rewards. And to the privileged part of your mind, a meaningful achievement and a random TikTok can both light up the same system. So everything becomes dopamine. And when dopamine becomes so easily, your life becomes very, very hard. For example, going to the gym feels boring. Reading a page or a book feels boring. Working on a project for 30 minutes feels so impossible. Even conversations feel empty. It's not because these things are really boring. It's because your dopamine system is exhausted. And when you flood it all day, there's always a cost. So what happens when your dopamine is all the way every day on the highest level? That's the crash that nobody talks about. The crash after the high. And there's a morning that will feel familiar. Not just your body, it's also your mind. You pick up your phone without even thinking, scroll a little, nothing feels interesting, and you're not motivated to do anything. But you also don't want to rest, to lose another day. And when the dopamine spikes are high, it doesn't stay there. It drops immediately. And not back to normal where it was. It drops below it, below your baseline that was normal. And that's when you get brain fog, no motivation, and endless procrastination. You're sitting at your desk, staring at the thing you should do, and there is just nothing. No drive, no push, no urgency. You start to tell yourself a story. I'm lazy, I'm weak, I'm just not the type who can focus. But really, your brain is really tired of being stimulated every another day. It's like forcing a runner to sprint 24 hours and then getting angry when they can't stand. And the worst part is that you think it's your personality and you think you're the problem. But most of the time, your environment is stronger than your willpower. And if the problem is the environment, the question becomes, how do you escape something that's everywhere? And that's where my own breaking point started. My breaking point. A few months ago, my life on paper looked fine. But inside my mind, it felt like someone had pulled the plug. I was 25, broke, trying to rebuild. The gym became tomorrow. Tomorrow became next week. And the next week became, I start again soon. I slept 8 to 9 hours and still felt like drained. And there was this constant heaviness behind my eyes. I wanted to create. I had video ideas, notes, scripts, but every time I sat on my desk to work, my hand would drift to the phone, scroll, check, refresh again. And some nights my girlfriend wasn't at home. The apartment got quiet. I could hear the fridge humming, the clock ticking, and inside that silence. And I could suddenly see what I've been avoiding. And hours of my life disappeared into nothing. I'd sit on the couch, scroll for 3, 4, or even 5 hours, and then feel ashamed. And not because I didn't know what to do, because I did know what I should do. And still, I wasn't doing it, and that shame is heavy. It makes you think, don't have discipline. I'm not serious about my life. Or maybe I just wasn't built for this. But one night, sitting alone with that feeling, something became very clear. It's not that I didn't have discipline. It's that my brain was full. The capacity was full. I have no space left. And so I decided to test a simple experiment. A 7-day dopamine reset. And not some perfect monk level detox. Just a simple one. And not to impress anyone. Just to see what happens to my brain if I stop feeding my brain with constant stimulation. Just for 1 week. And I expected it to be uncomfortable. And I didn't actually expect what happened. The 7-day reset. The first morning I woke up and forced myself to do something I hadn't done in a long time. I didn't touch my phone. No music, no YouTube, no checking messages just quickly. I just sat at the edge of the bed, feet on the floor, staring at the wall. The silence felt loud. My brain reached for something, anything. I kept thinking, this is stupid. Just put a podcast on. But underneath that discomfort, I felt something I haven't felt in a while. Space. The silence wasn't empty. It was just unfamiliar. Day 2. The boredom wall. On the second day, everything felt boring. Eating without video felt strange. Driving with no music felt too quiet. I'd sit at the table with my food and feel this urge in my chest. Grab your phone. Come on. Just for a second. But this was the moment I started to realizing something. Boredom is not your enemy. Boredom is a space where your brain starts to reset. And that resilience you feel, that's your dopamine system asking for another hit. And when you say no, it is time to calm down. Day 3. Focus comes back. By the 3rd day, something shifted. I sat down to work and noticed I could stay with one task for more than 5 minutes. My thoughts weren't racing as much. My brain felt slower, but in a good way. I still wanted stimulation, but the pull was weaker that time. It was like someone turned down the volume on the background noise, so everything became quiet and clear again. Day 4 to 5. Replacing, not just removing. On day 4 and 5, I realized the rest wasn't about removing dopamine. It was about replacing it. If you just remove stimulation, you end up sitting in a blank room, angry and bored. So instead of scrolling, I walked without headphones, wrote down my thoughts, cleaned my room slowly, one corner at a time, planned the next day on a paper, and small things, nothing impressive. But they filled the space that used to be noise. Day 6 to 7. Mental clarity. By day 6 and 7, something I hadn't expected happened, and I felt present at the moment. I sat at my desk and felt my body in the chair. I drink water and actually tasted it. I walk outside and notice the sky, instead of checking always my phone. And my brain didn't feel heavy. I didn't feel trapped in my own head. And I wasn't this super disciplined robot. And I was actually just less overstimulated. And that was enough to change everything. The real solution. And we all think that the solution to this problem is motivation. We wait for that one video, this one line, this one quote that will finally push us into action. But here is the truth. Discipline is almost impossible when your dopamine system is fried. You can't out-motivate the mind that is overstimulated. It's like trying to meditate on a roller coaster. But the real solution is much simpler. You just have to stop making dopamine so cheap. You start protecting your brain like it's something valuable. But it really is something valuable. And for me personally, it came down to a few things. Start the day without stimulation. No phone for 60 minutes. Wake up, stretch, drink water, look out the window. Let your brain arrive in the day before the entire world rushes in, before the work starts. Replacing cheap dopamine with slow activities. And I don't mean to grind 24/7. Just choosing things that requires presence, like reading a few pages, walking without your phone, writing your thoughts down, lifting weights or deep conversations, or just simply working on one task at a time. Making your environment boring, not your life. Delete all the apps that traps you. Move them off your home screen. Or for example, charge your phone far away from your bed. And when the environment stops attacking you, discipline becomes much easier. And you don't need to fight a war every time you try to focus on something. How to start your own reset. What you actually do with all of this. Not someday, not in a perfect month, not when life is less busy. You start now. For the next 7 days, try this. Wake up and don't touch your phone for the first hour. Let your eyes see something real before you see a screen. When you eat, just eat. No scrolling, no videos. Let your brain reset while your body refuels. 1 hour before bed, shut the screen down. Let your mind get to the sleep mode gently. And watch your mind what it does when you're actually not giving it a hit. And you don't need a dramatic dopamine detox like the social media influencers out there. And you don't need to disappear into the woods. What you need is a dopamine reset. And your brain is not broken. It's simply just overwhelmed. And overwhelm can be undone much faster than you think. The quiet shift. There will be a moment, maybe after a week, maybe just after a few days, where you notice something small changing. You sit down to work. And instead of instantly checking your phone, you just start. And between the sets, you don't feel the urge to pull up your phone and check Instagram. You're walking outside and your mind is not screaming for more input. It just is there, calmer and quieter, and just in the moment. And you realize something important. The goal was never to become an ultra-productive machine. It was to feel human again, to wake up and not to be at war with your own mind, to enjoy simple things without needing constant stimulation. And that is a real reward. And not more apps, no more hacks or something, just a brain that finally works with you, not against you. If this video helped you understand your own mind, even just a little bit, then imagine what your brain will do if it don't drown into the noise. When your focus doesn't feel like a fight anymore, and when rest actually feels like resting, and when you don't hate yourself for doing what every app is designed to make you do. And I'm rebuilding my mind, my discipline, and my life, step after step. And I'm not perfect, and I'm not done with it. I'm just walking the same path you're about to start. And if you want to learn with me or grow with me and reset your brain one habit at a time, maybe you should consider subscribing to this channel. And this channel is not about becoming a machine or something, it's about becoming yourself again. So, thank you for watching this video, take care of your mind, it's the only one you will get.